Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. I'm pleased to welcome everyone back into Winchester Hall today to commemorate Juneteenth, a day to celebrate freedom. It's been 3 years since we last celebrated Juneteenth in person in Winchester Hall. Most people are aware that the Emancipation Proclamation was a presidential proclamation and an executive order issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863. It changed the federal legal status of more than 3 million enslaved people, changing their legal status from slave to free. But the Emancipation Proclamation had minimal effect on the day-to-day lives of many enslaved people in states like Texas, due to the small number of Union troops available to enforce the new executive order. So we often talk today about passing laws, and if we don't have an ability to enforce them, that sometimes their effect doesn't take place as it should. It wasn't until June 19, 1865, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, that Union General Gordon Granger and 2,000 federal troops would arrive in Galveston, Texas, to take possession of the state and enforce the emancipation of the people who were enslaved there. Granger informed the people of Texas that all slaves were free, in accordance with the proclamation from the executive of the United States, President Abraham Lincoln. Reactions to the news is said to have ranged from shock to immediate jubilation. The celebration of June 19th, which would become known as Juneteenth, carries on for generations after that historic day. Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. Through celebrations such as our ceremony here today and events planned for the upcoming weekend in Frederick, communities all across the nation have embraced Juneteenth and has seen a surge in popularity in recent years. In 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, certifying Juneteenth as a federal holiday. And though Frederick County has commemorated Juneteenth for a number of years through ceremonies like this one and with community events, last year was the first time I was pleased to honor the occasion as an official holiday in Frederick County as well, and the city of Frederick did so as well. Today marks one of the first opportunities we've had to welcome people back into Winchester Hall, so thank you for joining us to mark this special day. And now I'd like to read a proclamation, and then we'll hear from the people who are here with me today, and we'll pass the microphone. Whereas on Juneteenth, we think about that moment in time when the enslaved in Galveston, Texas received word of their freedom. We imagine the depth of their emotion, their jubilant celebration, and their fear of the unknown. And whereas Juneteenth fosters an appreciation of African American history and culture, celebrating freedom and achievement while encouraging continuous self-development and respect for all people. And whereas Juneteenth is a day in which honor and respect are paid for the sufferings of slavery, it is a day on which we acknowledge the evils of slavery and its aftermath. On Juneteenth, we talk about our history and note that there is still work to do before all freedoms are fully realized. And whereas Juneteenth is a day of reflection, a day of renewal, and a pride-filled day. On this day, we come together, young and old, to listen, to learn, and to refresh the drive to achieve. Juneteenth is a day that we pray for peace and for liberty for all. So now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, I do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2022 as Juneteenth Day in Frederick County and encourage all of our residents to honor this observation. So with that, I'm going to pass the microphone. I'm not sure which direction I should go first and who wants to speak first, but why don't we go this way and you can pass the microphone among yourself. And just introduce yourself and add what you would like to add.
My name is Marva Younger, and I'm the president of Frederick County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. I'm so happy to have my fellow members with me today. And thank you for this proclamation. I would just like to echo the quote from President Barack Obama. Juneteenth is an affirmation. It is a painful part of our history. We have accomplished so much, but there's still so much to be done. So we accept this very much. I would like to, may I go on and talk about our Juneteenth celebration?
Absolutely.
Frederick County Alumni Chapter is having Community Day, which we will be celebrating Juneteenth. And it will be held on Saturday, June 18th, from 1 until 5 p.m. at Staley Park. That is located at 11 West 10th Street in Frederick, Maryland. We have a diverse group of organizations that we will have there with us, and they will raise awareness of our needs in the community. We will have attendees we will give information to the attendees on mental and physical health, economic development, education, social and political action. And we will have food trucks and shred trucks. So if you have any papers or documents that you would like to get rid of, this is the time to bring it. We will have all of that there. So we look forward to seeing you on June 18th from 1 until 5 p.m.
Hello, my name is Terry Gales. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Good morning. My name is Janet Goodman. I'm also a member of Frederick County Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Good morning. My name is Dee Jenkins. I'm also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. However, today I do wear another hat. I serve on the board of directors for ARCH, and I am their walking tour guide. And when I think of Juneteenth, for Frederick County's history, we had 3 soldiers from the U.S. 29th Color Guard to go into Texas to help free the slaves. So they were a part of that cavalry, and that makes me Frederick proud. I also would like to add, in Frederick City itself, in 1865, we had our first Emancipation Day. And now it was in August, it wasn't Juneteenth. But the reason that it was in August, they're thinking probably it was due to agriculture. But on that day, you had 2,000 to 3,000 people come to Frederick and march through the streets of Frederick. And this went on up until the late 1930s. So Frederick has been celebrating Emancipation Day for a long time. The first Juneteenth event was held in, I believe, the year 2006. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Leslie Pellegrino. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Frederick County Public Schools, and I thank you for the invite here to celebrate with my colleagues and my friends this very important date.
My name is Mary Lee. That is my first and last name, but people just kind of make it flow as Mary Lee. But I am the chair of the Frederick County Human Relations Commission, and I'm going to thank County Executive Gardner for the county's recognition of this important day in history. Juneteenth is a day of reflection and rejoicing, and I'm so pleased to be here today to celebrate and stand with each of you.
Good morning. My name is Shayna Knight. I'm with the Frederick County Office of Economic Development. I'm the Senior Business Development Manager for Diversity and Inclusion, and I just want to thank our county executive and the Frederick County government for today's proclamation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Hughes. I'm the Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer for Frederick County. I love the idea of celebrating this day. This day speaks of the resilience, the strength of our people. They went through so much, all that was done to try to crush them. You know, not maybe kill them and take their lives, even though that was occurring, but to crush their spirits and to deprive them of their humanity. And yet our folks we stand. We built the country, and we're still building this country. And so this is an opportunity to remember the strength and honor our ancestors and how strong and mighty they were and how we still live on their shoulders, not just as African Americans, but America in general lives on the shoulders of our people.
Greetings, my name is Tiana Hale, and I'm wearing a multitude of hats today. I am very pleased and honored to represent Frederick County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I also represent ARCH as one of their board of directors, and I represent the school system, which is Frederick County Public Schools. And what I appreciate most about this event is that the collaboration of everyone, not just recognizing the injustice that was of Juneteenth, but recognizing it as also a celebration of the ability to move forward, continue to build, continue to lift each other up, and continue to understand the importance of all that we contribute to this country.
Good morning. I'm Eric Loris Phillips. I serve as the Executive Director of Public Affairs for Frederick County Public Schools. Again, we appreciate the county's opportunity to recognize this day on behalf of our students, their families, our staff, and the community. Juneteenth is a day to reflect, but also to remember our past and the impact of that past on all of us. For our Black African American students, it's an opportunity to also realize the impact of the contributions that we've made to our country. So on behalf of the school system and all those that are part of the FCPS community, we want to thank you for acknowledging the day.
I'm Miles Ward. I'm here today on behalf of the Frederick County Human Relations Department and the Frederick County Citizen Services Division. It gives me great pride and pleasure to stand with so many people in our community to celebrate this great day.
Good morning. My name is Adrian Hawkins. I am here on behalf of Soul Street. I sit on the board of directors, and I just want to thank the county government for the invite.
I just passed a different microphone, but go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Mary Wright, and I stand as a representative of the Frederick County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta as well. And I am the Social Action Chair for our community activity that we will be sponsoring this weekend on Saturday. I am delighted that our county is recognizing Juneteenth because we celebrate that day as a day of emancipation and freedom of our African American people. But I want to say that we are doing this event because some of our people are still enslaved. They're enslaved with their health, they're enslaved financially, and we just want to enlighten them by providing an opportunity for them to interact with the agencies that can give them a boost in removing those veils of enslavement that they still deal with. So we welcome everyone to attend our event, but we also want to thank our county executive for acknowledging this day in Frederick County as an important day.
Good morning. My name is Deirdre Sprague, and I'm an Education and Outreach Associate with the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights. I want to thank the County Executive for extending the invitation for us to be here and represent the Commission today. Also want to thank the acknowledgement and the appreciation of the day. We are the agency responsible for the enforcement of Maryland's anti-discrimination laws. We have the Western Maryland Advisory Council, which is the council that will have the stronger presence here. They kind of act on our behalf, and they will be attending some of the Juneteenth events that will be coming up this weekend.
Thank you. My name is Karen Yoho. I'm a proud member of the Frederick County Board of Education. And growing up, in a room, raise your hand if you've heard of the Emancipation Proclamation. Hands would go up. Raise your hand if you mentioned Juneteenth. No hands would go up if you look like me. We're trying hard as a school system to ameliorate that, to correct that situation, long overdue. And this is why we need to continue to advocate for an accurate reflection of all of our history. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Danielle Haskin, and I'm working with the Frederick County Health Department to develop a Frederick County Health Department on the Golden Mile office that will address access and equity. I've really been blessed to be able to look at, to serve my community throughout the response and to continue to look to take us from equality to equity and hopefully soon to justice and liberation, because that's really where we want to be. We know, I grew up knowing Juneteenth. I visit Galveston often where my father was born. We'd visit the site where General Granger did read the third general order, but it was still some time afterwards where my family was actually learned of the order in a little while, about an hour away in Anahuac. So as we know, there's some time that happens between, and through great authors like Michelle Alexander and Heather McGee, we know that we are still in some ways enslaved. And I'm so blessed and honored to work with all of these wonderful people and with our community to work towards that liberation.
Good morning, Madam County Executive. We thank you for the invitation. My name is Donna Hamilton. I'm a member of Beta Alpha Sigma Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We charted here in Frederick on November 20th, 2016, bringing our principles forward of sisterhood, service, scholarship, and final womanhood. Thank you again for the invitation.
Good morning. My name is Annette Breeling. I'm with the Human Relations Commission. We have a threefold mission. One is to promote equal opportunity. That should be equal opportunity for all, and we still have work to do. The second is to promote human justice. Again, we have work to do. The third is to promote multiculturalism. I also care about the Poor People's Campaign because it is promoting all of these things and trying to raise a voice nationwide to make some accomplishments in these areas. I really valued last year's Juneteenth celebration here in Frederick, and I had thought that I could do the Poor People's Campaign on Saturday and Juneteenth on the 19th of June. So when I heard there was a conflict, I'm very sad that I've already committed myself to the Poor People's Campaign, but I wish you well with your celebration.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Carrillo. I'm also here with the Frederick County Health Department on the Golden Mile. I'm also here hoping I can represent the younger generation as well, making sure that we never forget what happened, but also to celebrate the importance of Juneteenth.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, thank you again, County Exec, for today, for acknowledging Juneteenth with the proclamation. As you said, yes, we used to do this all the time. I'm Angela Spencer. I am former chair of HRC. I wear many hats, but today I stand primarily with the hat of the Frederick County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, as we've already talked about the empowerment event this weekend, but I also wear another hat. I am with the Asian American Center in Frederick Health Hospital. You guys know we have been battling and dealing with COVID for the past 2 years. I am the program vaccine coordinator for Frederick County, which the position ends in a couple of weeks, but nevertheless, we are still on track with doing what we need to do. I'm excited to tell the public that please come out this Saturday for the upcoming event, because if you get vaccinated, whether it be your first or your second, or as Dr. Mandel says, your booster or your booster to your booster, you will not only receive a free test kit, you'll receive free masks, you will also receive, on behalf of Frederick County Alumni Chapter, a gift card. So you got to get there early because, you know, gift cards can run out. But nonetheless, plan to attend this weekend. But in regards to Juneteenth, prior to Danielle stating what she stated, I thought I was really the only one here from Texas. So I was like, I'm by myself. So I've been celebrating Juneteenth for almost 55 years, and it is something that is embedded in me. My coworkers with county government would always laugh and say, why are you taking off on Juneteenth? I'm like, because it's my holiday. So now I can say it is officially our holiday. So thank you all for recognizing and everyone being here today to represent freedom, not just for me, not just for you, but for everyone. Thank you.
I'd like to thank County Exec for extending this invitation for me to attend this ceremony. It's a great ceremony. It's a great thought. My name is Stephen Gordon. I don't think I said that, but my name is Stephen Gordon. I am Vice President of the Art Society of Frederick. One of the things that we are planning on doing is to keep people like myself from being ignorant of the history. I have to admit that up until about 25 years ago, I had not heard of Juneteenth. It was for a gentleman actually from Texas, Johnny Twine, was the first that I heard talk about Juneteenth. And then when Angela came along, I heard her talk about Juneteenth. And so that's that's how I got involved with Juneteenth, because I had not heard about it. And if you look at me, you probably say, well, he was old enough to be sitting on the corner in Texas when Gordon rode in to tell everybody about the freedom. But I'm not quite that old yet, but getting close to that. But certainly, we are planning on opening up a museum at 125 East South St. Street. We certainly want to thank the county for the support that they have given us for the last couple of years. We want to thank the city. I don't see any city administration here, but we do want to thank the city and all the other benefactors who have been supporting our effort there. I can tell you that we've been able to do several studies. We just completed a study with a group from Wisconsin 106 We just recently put out an RFP for design, and hopefully we will realize the opening date of late '23. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Willie Mahone. I am the local director of the Frederick County branch of the NAACP. I'll take this opportunity also that Stephen Gordon has been very instrumental historically in the Frederick County branch of the NAACP and in the Western Maryland area, and I wanted to acknowledge that. I want to talk a little bit about Juneteenth. I have prepared some remarks. Juneteenth evolved from the date in June 1865 that enslaved persons in South Texas became aware of Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox, therefore effectively terminating their chattel bondage. Now, the Emancipation Proclamation that was issued by Lincoln basically said that any rebellious states that refused to put down their arms and stop fighting against the Union by December of 1863, that their slaves would be emancipated, and that's what it said. The second part of that said that also that African Americans could participate in armed struggle, but only as guards. But again, the Emancipation Proclamation only said that it would free slaves in states that were rebelling, which he had no jurisdiction over, but that's what he said. But however, African American economic bondage remained, most prominently exemplified by the sharecropping system, private and public employment discrimination, therefore necessitating the Civil Rights Act of 1964, denial of loan and funding opportunities for African American businesses and enterprises, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the economic bondage remains and continues to today. One of the ways in which you can address the economic exclusion is by municipal governments taking steps, we used to call it affirmative action, taking steps to make sure that minorities are involved in the contracting of those governmental systems. I've looked at this historically, and what we found is that continuously the city of Frederick looked at them, and we saw that African Americans were receiving less than 1/2 of 1% of the contract dollar that's led by the city. We approached the city and asked the city, said that this situation was dire, and asked the city to take some steps. The step that you have to take in order to improve that situation is called a disparity study that was mandated by the Supreme Court in a case called Croson, read by Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. I don't want to get into that, but you have to do the study. And once you do the study, you can put in place a program to bring in minorities, get rid of some of that economic bondages, remove some of the veils of slavery that I heard talked about here. The last thing that Dr. King was embarking upon was economic justice. That is what the Poor People's Campaign was all about. That's the last thing that he was about. He went to Memphis to support the garbage strikers against the city of Memphis. So he understood that local government had a role to play. It had a very significant role to play. We have a situation here where we have, and I say we, I'm talking about the NAACP, and myself, even before becoming president of the NAACP, have repeatedly asked the county government to do the disparity study, which is a condition that you need to do in order to put together a plan to bring in women and minority contractors. We're talking about economic freedom here. And the county, for various reasons, has not sought to do so. That's on the record. Now, the county executive says she has a whole lot of explanation for it, and we can talk about that infinitum. We've already met with her and talked about it. But the fact of the matter is that the city has done the study, the county has not. And for us to come and make these flowery proclamations about freedom and emancipation, but at the same time put no substance in it, is, with all due respect, hypocritical. Thank you very much.
You want to pass it to the person beside you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. My name is Henry Legue. I represent the Human Resources Department as the training administrator. Thank you all, County Executive and all of the speakers before and after. I am a descendant of Texas slaveholders myself and have spent many summers in Galveston and am, like most, sad to say that I only came to know about Juneteenth after all of my education, and only in the last 5 years. And what I am often struck by is, and am remembering today, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed and ostensibly brought up by white men, Abe Lincoln and the others in his cabinet, and remembering that those who have the power in situations have a responsibility to act as well. And so I will be highlighting our resources, our training resources for all of the employees here in the county government on how we can continue to proclaim our commitment to emancipation from the continued systems and cultures of oppression, especially through improving our skills at allyship in the workplace.
Is it not working? Yeah, pass the other one down. Oh.
Good morning. I'm Mike Marcom, Interim Superintendent with Frederick County Public Schools. I am so honored to be here today to celebrate Juneteenth. I look forward to advancing Frederick County Public Schools in recognition of Juneteenth and continue to educate our students in our community about Juneteenth. So thank you so much for the invitation today.
Thank you. I'm Brad Young, President of the Frederick County Board of Education. Thank you, County Executive Gardner, for the invitation. Juneteenth is an important thing for our students to learn about, and I was very proud that our board this year also passed a new Black African American Studies course, which will go much more in depth to not only Juneteenth, but issues that aren't prevalent in our history books that we have now. We'll continue to work towards advancing the knowledge so folks know what our country's history is and will help guide the path to where we need to go. Look forward next year to our new superintendent. Will be starting in 2 weeks, Dr. Dyson, and hopefully she will be here next year to celebrate with us as well.
Thank you. My name is Seymour Davis. I'm a member of Frederick, Maryland Alumni Chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We would like to thank the County Exec for the invite. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Lakeisha Wade. I am the Equity and Inclusion Coordinator with Frederick County Government, working here. I am very appreciative for the acknowledgement today of this holiday, and I'm looking forward to the growth and what we're able to do further in this community.
All right. Thank you to everyone for your comments and your reflections on what Juneteenth means to each of you personally. Juneteenth ceremonies are important as we continue to work towards ensuring freedom and justice for all Americans. Freedom is certainly a powerful word. Freedom creates opportunity and lifts up the voices of people who have lived their lives unheard. Certainly, we recognize our role in county government has not been perfect, and we are striving to do better through the creation of our Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, through empowerment programs we have in our Office of Economic Development. And I have funded the data collection and the disparity study for Frederick County government. And so we recognize that we have work to do, and we are trying to move forward to do that. So as a nation, we have to continue to work to eliminate systemic racism and ensure the promise of the United States of America, justice and equality for all. Because all people deserve opportunity, education, and freedom. This Juneteenth, I urge you to consider what you can do to create real change so that every one of us knows the taste of freedom. Thank you for joining us today. It's nice to see all of you here. I'll see many of you over the weekend, and I hope I see many of you out there in the public this weekend as well as we celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you for joining us today for Frederick at its best.